Hey YouTube, this is PrimetimePokemon, and in this video, I'll be reviewing and giving away the Axelgor theme deck, the black and white Noble Victories theme deck. It's called Fast Daze. It's a grass and fire type theme deck, and in order to win this theme deck, you have to do the following things. You have to like and favorite this video, and then go to my blog and follow me on there. Basically just says join this site, and you just log in with a Gmail, Twitter, and a bunch of other free accounts if you want. You basically just get your username, come back to this video in the comment section, post your username from my blog, and then just say enter me or something like that. You only can enter once, and then in a couple weeks I'll use a random number generator and determine a winner by using that random number generator on the comments. More details on how to win this deck will be in the video description of the video in the underbar. I did get this deck from collectorscash.com. Also have a link to that website in the underbar below. That's where I get a lot of my Pokemon cards. It's actually a pretty good website to go on. So read the synopsis of the Fast Daze theme deck. It says, dazzle your opponents with the Fast Daze theme deck. With its low cost attacks and no retreat cost, Axelgor can get in and out of battle in the blink of an eye. Volcarona's fiery dance powers up your best attacks with blazing speed, and Lilligant's healing touch can get your quickest fighters back into the fray. You can be on the fast track to success. And the winner will receive the 60 Pokemon card deck, the metallic coin, the checklist, the damage counters, the deck box, the 2-player playmat, and then the online TCG code card. Show everything to you, and the reason the deck was already open is because I organized the cards in the deck box just to make sure they are in the right order. Here's the code card that the winner will be getting. Here's the Axelgor promo version. The regular version doesn't have this holographic pattern on it. And then here's the playmat, the damage counters, the card list, and the coin. Take a look at all the cards in here. So it is a grass and fire type deck. We'll start off with the grass Pokemon. There's a 4-2 line of Shelmet and Axelgor. So Shelmet, basic grass type Pokemon, 60 HP and 2 moves. The first is Mysterious Evolution. And basically it says if Karrablast is in play, search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon. If we check the deck list, Karrablast isn't in this deck, so actually its first move really doesn't have any meaning in this deck. The second move is Ram, which just does 10 damage every turn for 1 grass energy card. So an average starter Pokemon there. Next is the Axelgor, and there's 2 Axelgors in the deck, one that promo one that I showed you, or the special edition one. Axelgor is an grass type, stage 1, 90 HP, 2 moves. Acid Spray and Slashing Strike, and if you can tell, no retreat cost, free retreat cost, so that's excellent. And Acid Spray does 20 damage, and flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy attached to the defending Pokemon, and then Slashing Strike, 60 damage for 1 energy card, and then this Pokemon can't use Slashing Strike the next turn, so basically it does 30 damage per turn. Well, 30 damage, so it's basically 40 damage per turn is what you probably be able to do. So 2 of those. And then a 3-2-1 line of Sewaddle, Swadloon, and Leaveney. Sewaddle, 50 HP, grass type. Leaf Boomerang is its only move, takes 2 energy cards, does 20 damage times the number of heads you get when you flip 2 coins. 3 of those. 2 Swadloon, stage 1, 70 HP, grass type. Has Tackle that does 20 damage for 1 energy card, and then String Shot does 20 damage for 2 colorless energy cards, and if you get a heads when you flip a coin, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. And then the 1 Leaveney, stage 2, 130 HP. Ability is called Leaf Tailor, and says each of your Pokemon that has any energy attached to it has no weakness. So you'll definitely want to get Leaveney on your bench as soon as possible, so you'll be able to use its ability every turn and have none of your Pokemon or have all of your Pokemon have no retreat cost. You can move them in and out of play as often as you like. And then Cutting Arm does 40 damage plus 20 more damage for each heads you get when you flip 2 coins for 3 energy cards. So with this card, if you get it on your bench right away, you can actually put Pokemon in this deck that have very high retreat costs and be able to go in and out of play quite easily with free retreat cost on something that normally has a 3 or 4 energy card retreat cost. Next is Petalil. We have a 2-1 line of Petalil and Lilligant. Petalil 60 HP, so not bad. Ram does 10 and Absorb does 10 and then heals 10 damage from this Pokemon. So it really makes its HP seem more like 70. Pretty decent starter Pokemon. And Lilligant, Stage 1, 80 HP, so a little lower HP, has 2 moves. Aeromax, heal all damage from one of your bench Pokemon. That's an excellent move right there. And then Windmill does 30 damage and switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So what I would want to do is I'd want to retreat one of my active Pokemon, or the active Pokemon that has a lot of damage on it, put Lilligant in, use Aeromax one turn, and hopefully be alive the next turn, and use Windmill. That way you can retreat it out for free. That way you don't have to rely on having Leaveney in and being able to use its ability. Next is Dwebble. So we have a 2-2 line of Dwebble and Crustle. Dwebble, 60 HP. Withdraw. You can flip a coin, and if heads, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks during your opponent's next turn. And then Slash does 20 damage for 2 energy cards. And Crustle, HP of 100, so quite high HP for Stage 1. And it has 2 moves. X-Scissor does 20 damage plus 50 more damage if you get a heads and you flip a coin. And then a Reckless Charge does 80 damage for 3 energy cards and then does 10 damage to itself. So if I were to use this card, depending on how many energy cards I've attached to it, of course, but I would probably use Reckless Charge more often just because it does the 80 damage. Should be able to knock out most Stage 2 even Pokemon in 2 moves. With 100 HP, you can probably sustain at least one hit of 60 without getting knocked out. Next is Fungus. We have 3 Fungus. Basic Pokemon, HP of 40, which isn't too great at all. And then Rollout is its only move, does 20 damage. So it's actually a pretty good attacker for a basic Pokemon to starter, but its HP, I'd be pretty wary with that. You might get knocked out pretty quickly, at least later in the game. Now we're going to move to the Fire-type Pokemon. We have Larvesta. We have a 2-1 line of Larvesta and Volcarona. Larvesta, 80 HP, a Fire-type. One move called Takedown, which does 30 damage and then does 10 damage to Larvesta. Not too great of a card, I don't think, but we'll take a look at Volcarona and see if it makes up for it. Volcarona, only one of these in the deck, 110 HP for Stage 1, so real high HP again for Stage 1. 2 moves, Fiery Dance and Heat Wave. Fiery Dance, 30 damage it does, and it says to attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So later in the game, this could be especially useful. And then Heat Wave does the standard 60 damage for 3 energy cards. However, this move automatically burns the defending Pokemon, so it makes up for a little bit. I would probably try and use Heat Wave if I could get the 3 energy cards on Volcarona. Next is Pansear and Simisear, a 2-2 line. Pansear, 70 HP, Fire-type. Beat is its first move, does 10 damage, and Lunge does 60 damage, which is quite a bit of damage to do for a basic Pokemon. But then you have a 50-50 chance of actually not even being able to attack at all. You flip a coin, if tails, its attack does nothing. So if you're feeling pretty lucky, go with Lunge when Pansear's out there. If not, just stick with Beat. And then Simisear, 90 HP, 2 moves. Scratch, just 20 damage, and then Double Fire does 80 damage times the number of heads you get when you flip 2 coins. So you could pretty much knock out any Pokemon, almost any Pokemon, if you flip 2 heads with Double Fire, but if you flip 2 tails, it can't do anything. And Scratch isn't that great a move, so I'd probably actually stick with Double Fire on this card. Now on to the trainers and supporters. There are 2 energy search in this deck. Energy search just says to search your deck for a basic energy card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle to your deck afterward. Just finding an energy card from your deck. Potion heals 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. 2 of those. Charon, there's 2 of Charon. Just says to draw 3 cards. Those could be especially useful. It is a supporter though, so you only can use 1 per turn. Great Ball, 2 of those, a trainer card this time. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So if you're looking for a stage 1 or a stage 2 Pokemon to evolve one of your basic Pokemon, this could be a good card to use. You could actually use both these at once if you had them in your hand, which wouldn't make that much sense. Yeah, actually it would make sense because you shuffle the deck afterwards. So you basically look through 14 of your cards trying to find a Pokemon you need. Supporter N, just 1 of these, and each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck. Then each player draws a card for each of his or her remaining prize cards. So this is a good card if you're trying to come back late in the game. Let's say you have most of your prize cards left. You're going to be able to draw more cards than your opponent. Pokemon Communication, 2 of these. Basically, you reveal a Pokemon in your hand, and you put it onto your deck, and then you exchange it for another Pokemon that you want from your deck, and put that Pokemon into your hand. 2 of those. 2 Super Rod, which just says to shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile back into your deck. So if you've discarded a lot of energy cards, Super Rod could be helpful to you for putting a lot of those energy cards back in your deck and then having the possibility of drawing those energy cards from your deck. So that's it for the trainers and supporters. And now the grass and fire energy cards. There's more grass energy in this deck than fire. There's 12 grass and 6 fire. Just a couple of tips on building decks. I always get requests on, is this a good deck or not? What I would suggest is I would really suggest just buying a theme deck like this and then play with it for a while, see what cards are good, see what cards aren't good, and then one by one switching cards out until you get a highly customized but good deck. And another good thing to do to get energy cards is buy these theme decks and buy the type of energy cards you want. So if you want fire energy cards, you'd buy this deck. If you wanted electric energy cards, you'd buy the deck I reviewed last month, that type of thing. So that ends my review of the Fast Daze theme deck. Before you go, make sure and check out all the links in the underbar below, including the description on how to win this theme deck. So good luck to everyone. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.